1987. Will you please stand for the flag salute, remain standing for the Star-Spangled Banner and the invocation. The flag salute will be led by two members of the senior class, Dan Rhodes and Cody Chancellor. The Star-Spangled Banner will be sung by one of the two senior class advisors, Miss Diane Borchardt. And the invocation will be led by Reverend Ellen Hooper.
I pledge to the flag of the United States of America. One nation.
Let us also take a moment to acknowledge God, the source of all life that brings us together today. Will you join with me in a moment of prayer? Beloved God, we ask your special blessing on this day, on the families and friends who gather here, and on these commencement exercises. And we ask a special blessing on each and every graduate, that they may know your supportive presence in their new ventures, that they may continue steady in their quest for wisdom and truth and the fulfillment of their highest dreams, and that they may know your peace and your love, and that they may share this peace and this love with our world. Amen.
I would now like to introduce to you the president of the senior class, Miss Cheryl Anderson.
Seniors of 1987. As I sat down to write the speech, it was hard to believe that another year has come and gone. But now we've come to that time when we must say goodbye. It is a good time for everyone, and it's very exciting. But when I pause and think that this is a real goodbye to some of you who will never cross my path again, I want to cling to my memories and remain in high school forever. This cannot happen though, and we must go out into the real world away from the securities of home. I can only hope that the decisions we make will be to our benefit rather than having them hurt in any way. During the past school year, many changes and events have taken place in our lives, and not all of them have been pleasant. But I feel that the class of 1987 helped change SLV for the best, and our memory will remain here for a long time to come. Through our defeats, victories, triumphs, and defeats that we have had this year, I feel that our class has pulled together and become a close-knit family. As we graduate and separate in miles, true feelings and friendships will never part. As class president, I feel extremely proud to be speaking for this great class. And I feel that when one reminisces about the last 4 years, mostly good and happy times are all that are remembered. In 5 years, I hope that we will all meet again together as a whole and talk about how each of our lives have changed and grown. Until then, always remember that 87 was our year, and we proved ourselves in every way possible. Thank you so much for making my high school years so incredibly exciting. I love you, and good luck.
Next, we have a special vocal selection, These Memories, written and composed by Karen Carlisle. It will be sung by Karen Carlisle and Wendy Myers, two members of the senior class, and it will be accompanied by Anna Quick.
Yeah, Annie.
This is our gift to the class of 1987.
like to introduce the first of three graduation speakers, the salutatorian for the class of 1987, Jeff Goodman.
Good afternoon, faculty and friends and class of 87. Welcome you to graduation day. Just a few days ago, I was desperately struggling over a topic for this speech. Coming up with a theme that is appropriate and concise is not an easy job. I considered talking about all the good and bad times I've had here, all the preparation I've received for the real world, and how sad it is to be leaving this school and all my friends. Being that I'm not one for mushy sentiments, and I know everyone had had or would get their fair share of nostalgia on graduation day, I was still stuck in a quandary. The only thing I was sure of was that I would need to catch a metaphor. I figured no matter what my topic would be, I must stay in tune with tradition, and that was set by speechmakers before me. I tried out the school of life, the journey through life, and climbing the mountain of life, but none sounded out my true feelings. I began to notice that these names and all the ones I had heard echoed throughout the school the past weeks had one thing in common. They were really scary. I wondered, are graduation and the times ahead of me really going to be that frightening? This past year, a general tide of anxiety and fear has gradually been overcoming my senses. Was this right? I wasn't quite sure. I decided it was time to consult the oracle. I was happy to learn that there was indeed going to be a metaphor in my future. The words bestowed on me were simple yet enlightening, so now I'm able to pass them on to you and my classmates. Over the years, graduation from high school has grown to become a very celebrated and melodramatic occasion. With all the fanfare and procedures, naturally comes anxiety about the huge event that is bound to follow all the ceremonial preparation. I begin feeling that we're all being pushed out a great door that is never to be re-entered, or off a cliff that will either apply our education so that we may fly, or make a few bad choices that result in a rapid plummet to the cement below. Of course, the real world is a scary place, but so is school when you first became a part of it. Actually, the real world doesn't have to be a terrifying jungle cutting us off from all former friends, relatives, and familiar places. My biology teacher taught me last year that when a change takes place, all organisms either have to adapt, migrate to new surroundings, or die. I say adaptation sounds like the best way to go. Not only is it the best option, but it can be fun along the way. Sure, there are many scary things that we're all going to encounter in our lives, but the most can be made out of these as well. All the challenges, hardships, and difficulties can prove to be just as rewarding experience as good times if they are viewed in the right perspective. All things encountered in life, whether judged good or bad, should be cherished for the insight and wisdom they provide. And it's not like we haven't had change before. When we were 2 years old, we all had to give up diapers. It was a hard change at the time, but we made the best of it. At 12 years old, we had to give up recesses in a single classroom. It seemed overwhelmingly frightening the first couple of days, but I soon found out that with a minor amount of effort, I actually liked junior high. A change in the surroundings is not only fun once in a while, but actually proves to be better than the situation before it. It seems that elementary school is better than preschool, junior high was much better than elementary, and high school proved to be by far the best one of them all once I adapted to the new environment and things going on there. So now it's time for the metaphor I promised and how I see it all in the big picture. Because many people fear their comfortable roles and security is being shattered, I think graduation can be compared to a changing, evolving world. The stage today is not the end of a world, but the beginning of a new one, but simply a new era in the existing one. We have successfully endured these new eras before and have seen that they almost always turn out to be exciting times, better than the ones before. Just because graduation has become highly glamorized and has snowballed into something frightening along the way, my wish for all is that you can see it for what it really is, an exciting change for the better that will allow us to enjoy ourselves and learn through new, rewarding experiences. Since all things always work out for the best anyway if you just want them to, I encourage you to take on this change undauntedly with an eager, positive anticipation of good times ahead.
The second speaker is one of our two valedictorians, Tamara Janae.
afternoon, class of 87 and honored guests. To begin with, I would like to thank 5 people. My parents for their love and support, and 3 special teachers, Mr. Horner, Mr. Mercer, and Miss Moen, for your support and guidance. And to my brother Bobby and the rest of the class of 88, have one heck of a senior year. Today I would like to talk about something I feel is very important, looking ahead. In less than 14 years, it will be the 21st century. We, the class of 87, will be in our early 30s. Today, though we are still teenagers, we are very much aware of the problems facing humankind. Will these problems still exist in the next century? Will we have found a cure for cancer, or AIDS, or even the common cold? Will terrorism, the arms race in the Middle East, still clutter our morning newspapers? How about problems inside this nation like drugs, neglected senior citizens, and unemployment? Will they have been resolved? Will the 21st century merely be like a relay race and simply carry over the same old problems? Will we be apathetic, or will we make a difference? Class of 87, look around you. Each of you are surrounded by people who have the potential to make things happen, to make this world a better place to live in. The problems facing our globe require the help of many people. Instead of the weary crying about how bad things are, let's ask ourselves the question, what can I do to help? Go out and find those people who, like you, are interested in solving the same problem. I believe that there is no problem in the world today that can stand up to the concerted efforts of determined, intelligent, and hardworking people. Class of 87, that should be us. If you think about it seriously, that must be us. When the year 2000 rolls by, will we be proud of our accomplishments? I, for one, intend to try. Won't you join me? Thank you, and sayonara.
The third student speaker, and also a valedictorian, is Hindi Lund.
I want you all to imagine yourselves driving down the road to success. This is going to be for some of us, this road looks pretty much like Interstate 5 down to LA, nice and smooth, no problems. For some of us, this road makes Alba Road look like Interstate 5. There are a lot of obstacles that we're going to face. We've all been driving along in our parents' cars now. We've just been along for the ride. Today we get our driver's licenses, folks. We're on our own now. We're getting our cars, and we're going to jump in, and we're going to drive off to wherever we're driving. Some of us, there's a nice little fork in the road here. Some of us are going to work. Some of us are going to school. It doesn't matter. It's all the same road. It all leads back to one thing: more work. Anyway, along the way, we're going to run into a few hazards. There's going to be a lot of detours along the way. Some paths that we didn't intend to take, but we're going to take anyway. Just look at those paths as something new, a little new experience that might add to what we're learning instead of take away from it. And remember that detours, too, always lead back to the main road. So even though you might get sidetracked, you'll always get back to what you want to do. There are a few hazards out there, too. You know those reckless drivers that take Highway 9 about 90 miles an hour? They're out there. They're looking for you, and they're going to drive past you because all they see is success in big golden letters, and they don't see anything along the way. But there are also cops out on this road to success, and they'll get pulled over and they'll get stopped. If you take it a little bit slower, a little bit safer, you'll make it a lot faster than those people who all they can see is success. Look for a little bit of the things along the way. Stop and enjoy the scenery and all that. It's pretty trite, but it makes sense. Because if all you see is success, you don't enjoy it while you're getting there. And then when you get there, it's not what you thought it was in the first place. There's one more thing on this road, and that's stoplights. We don't have very many of those in this valley, but they will be out there. And those are just, you hit a red light. You can't go anywhere. There's nowhere to turn. You're just stopped. Remember that red lights turn green. They always turn green. You will never, ever be completely stopped. We'll always be able to go on, and we'll all make it. We'll all get to success somehow. We'll each take our own roads and our own cars. Some of us drive BMWs, some of us drive Ford Fiestas. The last thing I want to say to all of you guys, because you all mean a lot to me, take this from a very classic movie show, TV show. Be careful out there.
Next, I'd like to introduce members of the senior class who have been members of our band to do for you a special musical selection. I would now like to introduce Chris Brooks, who will introduce some of our foreign exchange students.
Good afternoon. The first person I'd like to introduce is Javier Lorenzo Rodriguez. Javier comes to us from Bilbao, Spain, where he lives with his mother, father, 4 brothers, and 2 sisters. He came to Boulder Creek in September and is staying with Mr. and Mrs. Chris Luca. Javier has said that he really enjoyed his stay with his host family. In Spain, Javier and his friends enjoy movies and concerts, much like we do here. Javier is to return to Spain on June 25th, where he is planning to attend college. After college, he would like very much to return to the United States for a visit with all his friends that he made. In the famous words of Matt Niswonger, Javier, you're the coolest. Next, I'd like to introduce Sochi Lagarda. Sochi lives in Hermosillo, Mexico, with her mother, father, 4 brothers, and 3 sisters. Sochi is now living with Mr. and Mrs. Kirksey, who live in Ben Lomond. She plans on attending a college in Mexico, but she promises to be back in 2 years to visit with her friends. She really enjoyed her stay here and would like to say thanks to all her friends and especially to Mr. and Mrs. Kirksey. Sochi, all of us hope to be able to visit with you this summer in Mexico. Amy, it's your turn.
This year, one of our foreign exchange students was Jan Nielsen from Denmark. Jan's friends from our school are Troy Tunnell, Michael Taylor, and Fleming Tideman. Jan loves the beach, TV, the weather, and the Boston Celtics from the year. The next foreign exchange student is also from Denmark, and his name is Fleming Tideman. Fleming's hobbies are soccer and water skiing. On the weekends, he likes to go to the beach, party, and be with friends. At Fleming's hometown high school, there's no graduation like our ceremony, so Fleming is really looking forward to the ceremony. He goes back July 7th and will finish school in 3 years, and then will come back to visit America in 4 years. The first semester, Fleming went to Pioneer High in San Jose, and then transferred to SLV High to graduate with the class of 1987, which he says he likes a lot better. Fleming lives with Cora from Ben Lomond. That's it. David Monroe.
Class exchange student is Bridget Whitford.
Germany and has been at SLV since this semester. She is the oldest of 3 and has a younger brother and sister. She's living right now in Boulder Creek with the Pecks, and she plans to return to Germany and finish her schooling and then return back to the United States and attend a university. She enjoys the field of journalism. She's a wonderful artist both on canvas with paint and in music playing the piano. Bridget thanks the school and the class of 87 for giving her a warm welcome, and I wish you well, Bridget, in your future endeavors.
It's now my pleasure to introduce the graduation speaker for the ceremony, chosen by the senior class, the second of their two class advisors, Mr. Mark Christensen.
Thank you. Members of the school board, Dr. Prieskorn, honored guests, and especially the graduating class of 1987. Well, this is it. The moment you've been waiting for has finally arrived. Graduation from high school is a great and memorable day, something most of you will remember for the rest of your lives. All of these people here today have come to honor you and applaud you for what you have accomplished. Today is the culmination of 12 years of growing and learning, and where you go from here is completely up to you. Today you may be nervous, apprehensive, happy, sad, and probably very relieved. Many of you just want to get this ceremony over with. I remember when I graduated from high school, I was so nervous during the ceremony that when the dignitary who was presenting the diplomas handed me mine, I dropped it. Then we both bent over to pick it up and bumped heads. Now that was embarrassing. But you shouldn't be nervous. You're all going to do just fine. You shouldn't be in a hurry either, because this is your day. Relax, enjoy it, and savor it, because you'll never forget it. I'm supposed to give you advice about what to expect in the future, but I can't do that in this day and age because nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. The problems of today are many and serious. Pollution, overpopulation, world hunger, violence and war, and the threat of annihilation by nuclear war. There are a lot of bad situations all over the world, and it is important to be aware of them and to try not to contribute to them. But I believe there is more good in the world than bad. It's just that the bad gets all the press. You should appreciate what you do have, because you are very fortunate. This is one of the most beautiful and diversified areas in the whole world. Nowhere else can you find mountains covered with redwood forests so near to sandy beaches and palm trees. People come from all over the world to visit San Francisco, Carmel, the Monterey Peninsula, and for us it's just an hour's drive away. So appreciate where you live. You also have families, friends, and teachers who are here today to see you graduate because they care. These are people you can count on when you need advice or support. Show your appreciation to them with a simple thanks, a smile, a handshake, or a hug. Tell your loved ones how you feel about them, not just today, but every day. And be grateful for your education here at SLV, and be proud of the diploma you're going to be receiving today. It is a great accomplishment, and think of it as a springboard to your future. Work hard to bring out the best in yourself and in others, and in so doing, you will make your world a better place. Work to improve yourself, to make yourself better at what you want to do. Always strive to learn more about yourself and learn more about your world every day, because from now on, what you become and what you accomplish is completely up to you. Graduation is only the beginning. Work to bring out the best in other people. It's a natural tendency for us to notice only negative things about others and to criticize that. You should focus on the positive side of people and praise and support them when they are doing the right thing. All people respond better when you recognize their good actions. Work to improve your community. If you see something you don't like, don't just sit back and complain. That does no good. Do something about the problem. Try your best to solve it. Finally, never ever give up. If things are going bad, don't just throw up your hands and quit. Failure and hard times are a part of life. You have to learn to deal with them. A cougar, our school's mascot, fails in the hunt 9 out of 10 times. But if it gives up, it dies. If you don't win at something or don't get the job you interviewed for, try to learn something from the experience so you will be better prepared next time. Whatever you do, believe in yourself and your ability. Always have a positive attitude and never give up. In conclusion, remember to savor this day and be smart and safe in your activities, whatever they may be. Appreciate what you have and thank the people who are here for you. Work hard to bring out the best in yourself and others. Work to make your world a better place and never, ever, ever give up. You're a great group of people, and if it's true that the future of the world is in your hands, then believe me, the world is in good hands. Thank you.
I believe that now is the time that at least those of you sitting up in the bleachers have been waiting for. After 12 long years of education, you've supported your students, helped them through the good times and the bad times. As principal, it is my pleasure to certify that the 192 students seated before you have successfully completed the graduation requirements prescribed by the State of California and the San Lorenzo Valley Unified School District Board of Trustees, and are therefore recommended to the Superintendent, John Prieskorn, for graduation. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bill. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I'm very proud and very pleased to accept for receipt of your diplomas the graduating class of 1987. Congratulations.
Presenting the diplomas to the class of 1987 will be two board members, Mr. Ken Klaus and Mrs. Sandra Keene. It is my pleasure to introduce the first two graduates of the class of 1987. Miss Heather Ames. Mr. Paul Luciani.
Dan Warren Rhodes. Susan K. Johnston. Jason Scott Fridge. Cheryl Lynn Anderson. Matthew Elliott Niceholder. Karen Diane Carlisle. Jeffrey Christopher Goodman. Jill Ellen Murray. Eric James Huffler. Lisa Ann Hammer.
Cody Chancellor. Wendy Meyer. Josh Eric Mitchell. Wendy Meyer. Heidi Janine Lund. Tamara May Janae. Renee Nella Goodrich. Christopher Brandon Brooks, Michael Nelson Reed, Amber Crystal Sharman,
Michael Robert Hersberg, Gary Allen Nidifer, Amy Elizabeth Greco, Steve Michael Cowley, Lisa Jean Howes, Jesse E. Venegas, Sarah Lynn Hicks, David William Monroe, Sherry Ann Richter, Robert William Berza, Jennifer Susan Anthony, Timothy Patrick Grove,
Kristen Elizabeth Hale, Eric Gordon Miller, Jeffrey Lloyd Macy, Kara Colin Stevens, Sean Dale Rogers, Mark Lee Rasmussen, Suzanne Mary Forno, Juliet Elaine Hammond, Desiree Appleby, Joy Lynn McCrary, Tom Harrison Calvin, Michelle Marion Cruz.
Sochi Lagarda, Fleming Hyman, Christina Marie Jones, Liam Scott Baxter Lewandowski, Michelle Kristen Hitchman, Martin Scott Walker, Christine Michelle Hughes, Scott David Anderson, Catherine Elizabeth Grossberg, Brett Alexander Malone, Lynn Marie Eby, Christian K. Tokunaga.
Matthew Edward Wolfgang Disciple, Melissa Murray, Jody Ann Muir, Lisa Bale, Peter H. Deal, Zoe Elaine Porter, Bridget Wetworth, Kevin Michael Pickering, Suzanne Warren Berry, Todd Patrick Langley, Matthew Dennis Merriman, Rogers Cheryl Jr.
William Aguilar, Raquel Marie McCone, Chandel Ray Barnes, Brendan John McCarthy, Lisa Marie Sells, David B. Cook,
Sherry Elise Freeman, Landon Allen Cheney, Doreen Susan Lake,
Tom Hayes, Kyle James Delancey, Michelle Lewis, Brian Roy Coughlin, Alicia L. Rich, Angela Marie Soto, Michelle Marie Blum, Dennis Bone, Donovan Heather, Rob Nielsen.
Patrick Scott Lavelle, Katrina Simone Gibbs, Brent Robert McDonald, Karina A. Myers, Matthew Craig Kyle, Jeannie Marie Brown, Daniel James Chapman, Tracy Dawn Brewer, Tyler Marie Skoog, Mona Marie Valarvich,
Jennifer Ann Belleville, Malcolm Mitchell, Rachel Lynn Davis, Maximilian Davis Valera, Anthony Edward Rivado, Jennifer Ann O'Brien, Sean Christopher Williams, Deja Ann Higgins, Suzanne Gail Little, Kelly Marie Gadini, Linda Jean Fox, William Vale Moran.
Jason Lee Nochi, Karen Lynn Mosley, Felicia Wedham, Eric Enteman, Katie Marie Zamora, Jim Stradolinas, Michelle Lee Talmadge, Susan Carol Johnson, Krishna Joel, Jonathan Mahalik, David Scott Wade, Michelle Denise McCullough, Javier Rodriguez Lozano,
Michael Joseph Fennell, Jared Lynn Bickett, Janelle K. Mormon, Megan Renee Searles, Jennifer Kristen Malone, Brooklyn Joe Dover, Daniel Alex Williams, Christine Beth Matthews, Scott Michelle Weber, Electra Dave Thompson, William Lester Berger. Timothy James Brownlee, Lizzie Marie Atabuju, Tricia Lynn Smith, John Nelson West, Sandy Ray Allen, Todd Michael Goldsmith, Neil Philip Parrott, Kurt Gerard Seeger, Heather Gwen Wood, John Richard Nauman, Daniel Paulette Hawkins, Stephanie Diane Silva, Charles Will Pearson.
John Joseph Travis, Christy Lee Richmond, Todd E. Rudy, Connie D. Sunday, Terry Lynn Hewitt, Stephen Tracy Burris, Karen Renee Gonzalez, Ruben Sam Carrillo, Jennifer Lynn Canal, James Lloyd Parmenter, Susan Jeanette Broughton, Gerald Wayne Davidson, Julie Ann Obolensky, John Baptiste Ramali the Fourth,
Marie Mega, Karen Louise Pryor, Dawn Lynette Rudnick, Marta Kristen Pearl, Michael Raymond Coolius, Michael Patrick McClish, Elizabeth Rachel Diane Rome, Blair Danielle Valerie, Kip Cullen, Janae Lynn Neski, Diana Vita Wood, Wayne Frederick Allen,
With the class of 1987, please rise and join Rochelle Cruz. And join Rochelle Cruz in singing of the alma mater. And would you please remain standing for the benediction given by Reverend Donald Monroe.
this ceremony, let us all rise for the benediction. O Lord, for the education that has occurred and shall occur, especially in the College of Life, we give thanks. And now as these graduates move out into a world that so often does not even notice persons, give each one the assurance of your continued and loving interest. In Jesus' name, amen.
It's now my pleasure to introduce the last formal act of the graduation ceremony of the class of 1987. The tassel turn, led by Jason Fridge, Hoffler, Joy McCreary, and Sherry Richter.
Jeffrey! Becky! What are you guys doing?